How's it going, guys? Peshcats here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Game 5 from 2 weeks late Friday night Weiss. Yeah. And on the left is going to be me playing the Sinon Waifu deck with the new cards from the Sword Art Online Extra Booster 2. And I'm going to be playing against Pete, who's using Idolmaster trial decks mixed up into an actual deck. So he's going to start with the Minami, which gains 1,000 on the opponent's turn. That, in combination with the Chieri support, is going to make it a 4K. So I play the 0/0 Sinon, which gains 1K if it's the only card in the front row, as well as a support, and the level 0 Sinon, which gives 1K to a character until the end of the opponent's turn. So my card in the front row is at 5K power right now. Also, just a quick note, this video was pretty freaking long, so I did cut some parts out in an attempt to condense it down. So Pete's going to play a 0/0 2500 Miria. When it comes into play, it gets plus 1500 for the turn. And he's going to play 2K1, which puts it at 6500. That'll let him kill my Sinon. I cancel, though, and I'm going to hand encore it. So on my turn, it's going to be... it's currently 4K power. Clock a book, draw 2 more cards, and let's see. I believe I crashed those. So because I moved my Sinon into the front row, it makes the one on the top turn back into 3K power, which means that it ties with the Miria. My center Sinon is currently at 4,000 power. It's getting 1,000 from the Sinon Brainstorm, and it's getting another 1,000 power from the Swimsuit Sinon. The Swimsuit Sinon is a PR that was given out as a release tournament prize for Sword Art Online 2 Extra Booster 2. It has 2 effects. First of all, it's assist 500 to front, and its second effect is your center slot character gets 500 on the opponent's turn. Pete's going to play a Minami level 0 and use the 2K1 climax on it to boost it up to 5K. That's going to kill my Sinon. And he's also going to play a Rin. When it attacks, he gets the top check, but it is a gate, so he does not add it to his hand and discard a card. Instead, he's just going to salvage a character from his waiting room and hit me for 2. The card he salvages is the 1/1 Chieri with Hand Encore. And I'm going to go to 1/1. So next, going into my turn, Pete's currently out at least 4 climaxes. I saw 3 climaxes in the waiting room, and he just triggered a gate. Meanwhile, I am out, I think, at least 2. I have a 2K1 in my hand as well. So I use the Sinon Brainstorm. Hit nothing. So the Brainstorm's effect is I search my deck for 0 cards and then shuffle, so I do have to shuffle the deck. Going to play the 1/1 Sinon, challenge to the strong, 1/1 6K with Hand Encore, and then if I have 3 or more other characters, she gets a 1K buff. So currently, with the help of the global on the top, and the 2K1 and the assist in the back, she is at, holy moly, that's a big number, 12K power. And when I reverse Pete's Minami, I'm going to get to draw a card off of the Climax Combos ability. Draw a card with the book first, and attack with the Sinon for 2. Pete's going to take that. He's going to level up to 1/1, and the Climax combo lets me draw a card. Direct for 2, and that goes through. Pete goes into his turn at 1/1. But first, the Rin's ability, when it goes to the waiting room from the stage, he gets to look at the top card of the deck, and he can either leave it on top, or he can put it into the waiting room. Ultimately, he decides to put it on the bottom of his deck and start his turn. Currently, the power of the cards on my field, I have the Shino at the top. That's at 3,500. The Sinon in the middle is actually gigantic. It's getting boosted by every single other character on my stage. So it's currently 10,500. So It'd be really hard to get over that, and for that reason, he's just going to drop a level 0 support. And I think he plays the level 0 Curari here. And both of us actually had the effect of this Curari wrong. We thought it was when it comes into play, you mill 3. As you can see right there, he's milling 3 cards off the top of his deck. But it's actually when it's sent to the waiting room, you mill 3. So that was a mistake on our part. But anyways, so he's going to play a 2k1 on his center just so he can deal some damage with that. I cancel the 2, and his other attacks are for 1, so that was the best attack to cancel. He attacks me for 1 up top as well. Oh, that one was actually 2 soul because he buffed it with the Curari's ability. When it comes into play, you can choose one of your other characters that is level 1 or higher, and that character gets +1 soul until the end of the turn. So I am now at 1-5. So I draw the book, and I kind of want to get it out of my hand. So the goal here is to, I think I try to brainstorm to try to hit a climax that will let me discard that book. And I do hit a climax, so that's going to let me search. I believe I just grab another copy of the swimsuit Sinon. And those two are just going to go back. And I discard the book. Or at least I believe I discard the book. Okay, there it is. And I think I brainstorm again. Yeah, okay, so I brainstorm. I still had 1 climax left in my deck. And this refresh is actually going to be with, I think, 6 climaxes. So I search my deck, and I spent like 2 minutes trying to decide what to search for. I changed my mind like 3 times, but I end up ultimately grabbing the 3/2 Sinon, since I did not have any copies in my hand, and I'm gonna level up, go to level 2. I already knew which card I was going to put in my level zone, so I put it in there early. Play a few cards. Sinon on the top is at 7-5, no, 8k, so that's going to attack into his hand Encore Cherry for 1. He takes it, Clock Encore, attacks for 2, and he takes that as well. This is going to level him up, put him at level 2. Going to want to level something blue. Levels the 2/1 Minami counter. And finally, I direct attack in the center for 2, and he cancels. He's going to hand Encore the Cherry. So on my turn, my Sinon on the top is 8k. My Shino in the middle is actually at 5-5. Or 5-5? Yeah, 5-5. And my Sinon on the bottom is 6-5. So he clocks, draws 2. Going to want to move that Cherry to the middle slot. Currently out 6 climaxes. He's going to want to move the Cherry to the center slot. Not that Cherry, the hand Encore. Because I think that's the only thing that he can kill that's on my board right now. Actually, no, I take that back. He can also kill my Clock Encore Sinon. But looks like he's not going to go for my Clock Encore. Plays a level 0 Minami. Plans to just ram in with that to deal damage. And gonna play 1k1. So we've seen 7 climaxes. There's 1 on the stage, and there's 6 in his waiting room. So I think he still had the last one in his stock, though. I don't think he ever did pay that out. Gonna crash for 3, and I cancel. So I canceled the first 2 attacks, and he's gonna be refreshing with 6 climaxes. Refresh damages another counter, and he's going to crash for 2, and I take that, putting me at 2-2. So both Pete and I are at even damage, but it's going into my turn of attacking. I draw the book, so I'm going to save that for later. And right now, I can just attack. I don't really have to clock since my characters stayed on the board. So what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to use the level 0 Searcher to grab another copy of the 3-2 Sinon from my deck to prepare for the level 3 game. So now I have 2 copies of the Sinon in my hand as I throw my cards across the table. And I have the book, so I'm all ready. After this turn, I'm going to have 6 stock, so if I hit level 3, I will be able to use my 3-2 Sinon combo. Attack with the center Sinon at 7-5 into his 6-5. That's going to be for 1 damage. And he takes it. Direct for 2. That's 2. And finally direct for 2 more. And Pete's going to go to level 3. And I did trigger 3 copies of the level 0 Sinon in a row. Pretty good. He's going to hand Encore his Cherry once more. Get rid of those level 0s that he doesn't need. Clocks a Miku Suicider. That's pretty useless at this state of the game. Level 0 Suicider into that field really isn't doing anything. So he plays the level 3 Rin. So she has 3 abilities. The first one being that if you have 3 or more other music characters, she becomes an 11k. There we're going to see the Kirari milling with the wrong timing again. So our mistake. The Rin's other abilities are the character across from this has -1 soul, and she has a climax combo with I forget what the climax is called. The one with New Generations on it. And when he plays the climax, he gets to heal 1 damage. He's going to play the 1-1 Uzuki event, which allows him to salvage another copy of the 3-2 Rin, which he's going to play. And he's going to play a 1k1, which lets him heal. And all his stuff's going to kill all my stuff. So I think people are like standing there and watching our game because it was taking a while, and that's why there's a big shadow. He swings for 3 with the center Rin. That goes through. And he's going to swing with his Cherry for 2. That's going to deal 2. And I cancel. And finally going to swing with the 3-2 Rin for 3. I think that was 4. But I do cancel on the first card, so it doesn't really matter. So right now I just want to deal a lot of damage. Ideally, I would like to finish out the game, so we're going to bring the 3-2 Shinons onto the board. And to do that, I'm going to clock myself to level 3. I do not want to risk Pete living until next turn and then possibly finishing me off. So I'm just going to clock myself to level 3 and try to just deal the damage to end the game. Right now. So how come the Shinons? They don't heal, but if I can end the game, then it's okay. It doesn't matter. I have 2 climaxes in my hand. As you can see, when I clocked to level 3, I drew a 2k1, so I'm going to want to discard that with my 3-2 Shinon's ability. In addition, I do have a book at the bottom of my stock, which has been there for since the beginning of the game. And so I'm going to want to attack with the 3-2 Sinon, pay it out. And that's going to get a couple more climaxes back in with my refresh. Burns for 4, and it goes through, so she's not going to gain any extra power, although I still do beat the Rin by 500 points. My refresh damage is a level 3 Sinon. Front attack for 2. It ends up being 3. He cancels. That would have been game if that had gone through. And finally going to burn for 4. And he cancels that, so I'm going to go plus 3,500 power until the end of his turn, and he cancels 1 more time. So he does have 1 chance to kill me right now. I still have the other 7 climaxes still in my deck. And he's going to 3-stock Encore both of his Rins. Try and get the climax so he can heal 2 more. And draws the wrong climax. He draws a 2k1. Probably clocks here. Or it looks like he's just going to go straight into his main phase and probably just play the 2k1 on the Curari. And so all of his lanes are swinging for 2. So he needs to deal 6 damage, and I need to cancel... I need to not cancel all 3 in order for him to win the game right now. So first he's going to crash for 2. Pretty typical. That's going to go for 3. He triggers the Ronco level support. And I cancel on the last card like a scumbag. Sorry, Pete. He's going to crash the Rin, because I'm at like 15,500. Crashes for 2. That goes through. And he's going to go into his refresh with, I think, 7 climaxes. I believe he went back with 7 climaxes in like a 35 card deck. So that's about 1 in 5. 1 in 5 cards will be a cancel. And finally, his last 3-2 Rin is going to attack my Sinon, and that one's going to be a crash as well. None of his characters are able to get over any of my characters. Refresh damages to 3-5 and crash for 3. And I am left 1 off lethal. Pete's at 3-5. I'm going to want to push my level 0s up so I have 2 soul on every lane, and I just go. That should really just be it. Swing for 4. That overswing with the climax, though. And he's going to take the 4. That's going to be the game. And Sinon is victorious against the Idolmasters.